Hello, my name is Goldene Koutsoudis. I'm a house mom and I'm a member of Oxygen Life Church, Walmer, Port Elizabeth. Today I would love to share my salvation story with you. I grew up in a Christian household, going to Sunday school, knowing all the Bible stories, attending church, as that was what was expected. But I never had a relationship with Jesus. I never really knew Jesus. I grew up in a volatile home, and since a young age, I can remember a lot of demonic activity and experiences in my life, which would continue and become even more intense throughout my adult life. Going into my teenage years, I entered into an unhealthy and sinful relationship, and as a result I lived with a lot of guilt and anger, and I started living a very isolated life. Through bad choices and very traumatic experiences, I was carrying a lot of bitterness and unforgiveness in my heart, which resulted in me living in fear all the time, with fear tormenting me in my daily life. My heart grew very hard to the point of me actually hating people and believing that I didn't need people in my life. But even through all of this, the Lord still blessed me with a good, loving and patient husband, and we were blessed with a son. So about 5 years ago, my son went to a sleepover at a friend's house, and he phoned us that night telling us that these people were going to church the next day and that he wanted to go with them. And he asked us if we could meet him there, which we did. But even after seeing all these people worshipping the Lord with joy and love, my mind just couldn't understand it. And the only logical reasoning for me was that it all had to be fake. But I continued attending church for the sake of my husband and our son. I just felt that I couldn't feel what those people were feeling. And after a while I noticed that this fear that I was living in constantly was starting to affect my son's life, and I felt compelled to approach one of the elders at church for prayer regarding the situation, because I knew what kind of torture it was to live in this fear daily, and I didn't want that for my son. The elder explained to me that my son was fine, but that it was me that needed to make a choice in my life, either to continue living in this darkness or choosing Jesus. I could hear the devil telling me that if I chose Jesus, my family will be in danger and bad things will start to happen to us. But I chose to totally surrender my life to Jesus, regardless. And I could only do that through His grace and because He loved me first. So that night I repented and I gave my heart to the Lord. I could immediately feel that darkness and that heaviness lift off of me, and I was overwhelmed by peace and joy. I was reminded of the words, I was blind, but now I can see. That's how it literally felt for me, that I could see Jesus' truth. All those words that I heard other people in church talking about, the love and the joy and the peace, I could feel in me, and I knew it was real. The old person was dead, and I was made a new creation in Christ. I'm still walking in that freedom, as the Lord took from me all that anger and the bitterness and the unforgiveness and that maddening fear, and replaced it all with His love. Through His grace I was saved, and I'm now overflowing with love for people. And I can go through life with Jesus by my side, regardless of what I'm going through, as Christ is my hope and my future. Jesus is faithful and He keeps His promises. I know that there is no anger, hardened heart, or fear bigger than the love of Christ.